Hello friends, welcome back to my studio. Today I'm going to be finishing color blocking this piece, my blue snow scene, my blue snow and mountain scene. And I'm gonna be finished color blocking, but I'm also gonna come in and do a lot of the finishings and things like that. So we're just gonna get started right away. And I am actually going to film the entire time without doing a voiceover. So I might ramble, I might not ramble, but it's gonna be a great little video, I think, that I think you're gonna be enjoying. So what you see here is a almost fully color blocked image. And you saw that in my last video. If you go back and it's blue snow. It's all about being blue, having blue snow. And I am going to finish painting this. I've had a great morning. I think it's almost 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time when I'm filming this. So whenever I get it done and edited up, you'll be able to see it. And look, I'm losing track. I'm not scripted. So I'm not scripted when I do these things, when I do this video. So I hope you enjoy that. So let's go. So here's the image that I'm working from, okay? So we've got this layer of darker blue trees and then this really kind of white. So it's a limited palette that I'm trying to work with. And now I'm gonna color block in the sky. I did something neat the other day. Just before I left the studio, I used a big palette knife, a really big one. I'm trying to see where it is so I can show you, but I don't see it. It's lost in my studio. And I did a big swath, which I thought was kind of neat. It's given me something to build on top, but I'm gonna color block now the sky. And when I do that, I always build, I come in a little bit slowly and build out from what I call the positive shape of the mountains. Okay. And there's always, when I'm doing a sky and whenever I look at skies, it's always slightly lighter where the sky hits what I call the positive shapes of the mountain. So I always find that I give it on purpose, a little bit of a glow working out from the positive shape. So I may even touch a little bit of yellow to kind of give it a glow. I definitely use a little bit of the hot pink. So what I find is I tend to, you know what, I'm stopping this. Okay, I'm back. I decided that I need to use the microphone because I'm going to be facing away from the phone, from the camera that I use to film this. So I just stopped it, put on the microphone, and maybe you'll hear me a little bit better when my head is turned. That makes sense? Sorry I didn't start with that. So again, I'm going in and building from the positive shape. I kind of come a little slower to identify what I'm doing. So you're going to have to forgive me because I'm doing this live with you and not doing a voiceover. My brain and my intuitive stuff might not work together at the same time. So you're just going to have to bear with me. I hope I can, build this out and explain it at the same time. And I'm hoping you can see. Yeah, somebody wonderful, I don't know who, suggested filming over my left shoulder. So that's what we're going to try, filming over my left shoulder so that you can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit better because I'm right-handed. Then I don't cover the canvas. Okay. So now I've got that close, tight, coming in to the positive shape of the mountain in, and now I can kind of build out and color block the rest of that sky. Let me get up here and do this part. So it has been a fun week. It's Tuesday when you're watching this. Whenever you're watching this, it's Tuesday in my world. And my husband has gone to France. He's so lucky. But he's skiing and I don't ski. So I don't feel any, sadness that I'm not there skiing. But he's in France and he's skiing with some new friends. And so it's very quiet at my house. I had a great meeting this morning. I had a Zoom meeting that I had to do because art is not all about just painting. The art business, there's quite a bit of meetings and building connections and working with people, and that's what I did this morning. I spent the morning doing some of that. I also did a little bit of transplanting of some flowers that I'm trying to grow for the spring. So I got a whole bunch of creative stuff in, the business of art and just fun garden stuff in this morning. But now I did my worst thing. I got my palette ready. So there's my palette. I really am bored with that. I just find it something that I don't enjoy. I got my palette ready. So now I can build this fabulous sky. So if you'll see that I kind of bring out my strokes from the positive shapes. I would never paint this sky first and then paint the mountains on top and then paint the trees on top. If you go back and you watch the color blocking of the last video, you'll see that I started down here working these trees and then I worked towards the back. Excuse me. Work towards the background. So here I'm going to just continue to fill in. I'm going to switch to a bigger brush. So here I'm going to use this Royal and Langnickel Jumbo Firm R995. That's what this one's called. And I'm going to color block in a little more broadly and watch. I'm going to pick up a little bit of light, medium, darker blue and a lighter blue. So you see how they're all on there? I'm going to pick up a fair amount. They're all smushed and mixed up on my brush. And now I'm going to come in and allow them to blend on the canvas. So now I'm going to pick up some white. And blend that in. Now I picked up a little bit of green apparently. So ultimately I will have to get rid of that green because I don't really want that in the sky. But this gives me such variety in the stroke, and it makes it really interesting. And the bigger brush fills in faster. You don't want to paint this with a 1-inch brush or a 1/4-inch brush, especially. So I'm building this sky and blending, mixing right on the canvas. All right, I'm liking how that's looking. Yeah, I like, do you see how my sky is kind of undulating over the positive mountains? I like that. That's working. Let me get, if I could only hear what you have to say. If you would put in any comments or thoughts that you have while I'm doing my painting, I would appreciate it, because then it's going to let me know kind of how to speak through or narrate these videos when I don't do a voiceover, which I've chosen not to do today. The voiceovers are fun and I like doing them, and I've got one that I need to sit and just do the voiceover on, and that'll be finishing some 12 by 12s coming up, because next week is the February square foot show, February 13th, and I'm going to have 3 paintings in that you can have access to on February 13th at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to do, one of my next videos is going to be talking about the finishing of those. And I think in that video, I'm going to give even more tips on what I see that sells and how to go about promoting yourself. That'll be in the next video. But today, I'm simply color blocking this sky, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tighten up a few things. Okay. So now you've just watched me color block that whole sky. I'm liking it. Here, I've got to push these mountains back. When you look at my image, they're very, very white, right? So I don't know if I need to go as white as that, but I need to push them back at this point. So I will come in with a smaller brush and looking at my image. So this is a smaller brush. I'm just gonna come in and start building here. So this is where, honestly, guys, I may just stop talking randomly and just like right now, so that I can think about what I'm doing. So when I'm doing mountains, I like to use the form, as directional strokes. I'm going to focus on this area right here. Maybe I'll move the camera in a little bit so you can see. There you go. All right, I'm going to work on this area. Even better, you can't see me. And I'll just chat you through how I'm building this out. So the brown, this brown color, it's too brown. It's reading very, very warm, which pushes it forward. And if I want to push it back, it's got to be bluer and purple, a little more purple, not so blue, or not so brown. So I'm picking up, again, the way I do it, I'm picking up a variety of blues and twisting my brush. And following the form of that mountain. So now there would be, some snow on this mountain. On the ridges, right? And I am not looking at my image and trying to depict exactly where I see the snow. I don't want these ridges to all be the exact same dimension or equivalent, like the spaces between these darker shapes to be equivalent. Don't want that. I want to give as much variety as I can. So that brown, you will be able to see a little bit peeking through here and there, but I've kind of gotten rid of most of it. And I think that succeeds in pushing that back. Don't you? And here I'm following the shape, the slope of the mountain. Okay. And then here I kind of want to push this bit back. It's all about the contrast. The less contrast in the background, the less, the further back I think it'll go. Plus at this point I'm hitting, oh, am I even painting where you can see? I'm going over here thinking, oh, and then I realized you may not be able to see that. So it's Tuesday and my husband has been gone and since Saturday. And it's been very quiet around my house. The weirdest thing is waking up in the morning and him being gone. It's very strange. But I think he's really enjoying it. He's kind of tired. I think the jet lag is taking it out of him. But I told him, I commissioned him to get 1,000,000 photos because he's in France. Okay. What? See, this is the finishing stage, guys, where usually I don't film this. But lately I've been trying to do it for you so that you can see. But then I'm quiet. Okay, so I think I successfully pushed that mountain back. I'm not so sure about what's happening here. I want it to be, and I want it to be a warmer, oh, that went too green. And to get the paint off, I simply wipe my paint on my table. If this is over on my cleat wall, I tend to wipe it on the drop cloth that I have attached to my cleat wall. I don't tend to just wash out my brush at this point. Okay, so this mountain peak is in front of that. And then this is in front. So now I've got to push this back, but still keep it in front of that one. So there's ridges and layers. And like that brown that I'm covering has a whole bunch of red poking through it. So that is causing it to come forward way too much. I was discussing this morning the fact that I'm not a teacher by gifting. So I think that's why I actually put off doing YouTube for so long, because I thought, oh, how do I articulate what you need to know? And I hope I'm getting better at it. And some of you just say, oh, I just love to watch you paint. And maybe you pick up something that way. Okay, I'm standing back. I'm looking. All right. All right. Now, here, I want to push this peak is in front. Okay. Did I push? Did I push that peak forward? Yeah, I think so. Okay, I'm going to rewatch this video and realize I'm just talking to myself, which happens even when the film is or the camera is not on. That does happen. Okay, I think I have successfully get my camera and push that forward. You can see that this is a peak, that's in front. So this peak here is a little closer, and it has more ridges that are showing. So let's I'm still working with my 1/2 inch. I think it's a 1/2 inch or a 3/4 inch brush, straight brush, flat brush. This is a manganese blue that I touch with Winsor Newton, the Winsor Newton blue. And I just find it creates this gorgeous shade that I really, really like. So I'm kind of stepping back and trying to figure out where the logical place is to just build these peaks. So that you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Now, here, I kind of want this to be the top ridge of this peak. Here, and this is pushed back. This part here is part of that. So let's push that back a little bit by I don't know, by what? By what? By what? by lightening it, but I think I still want some form because it's coming down the mountain, right? We'll see. Now, if this is supposed to, this color and this color are too similar. So to bring that peak forward, I think I need to lighten the background there. And all these little strokes, they're just creating mountains and striations and all of that. Okay, push, push. And here I've picked up some pink, some Indian yellow. And let's bring this mountain peak here forward. I think that's working. I even created a few little trees. You see that? Okay, here I'm washing my brush. Too contrasty though, I think, right there. Darken that so it's not so contrasty. And as I step back and as I build each layer, it kind of indicates to me where I need to add more in the other parts. And each layer of paint creates a real depth, I think. Okay. I think that's successful. Now here, we've got, you know, the indication of the slope. It's coming down this way. And I think I want to give more definition so that it's the snow coming down that hill. Yeah, this is now looking, you know, a little bit closer to me. This needs to have definition of what's happening here. And I squished my brush around, always creating, you know, new trees, new treetops. And I think I want to get rid of this, just this little. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to work this. I need to come back up in here and work this, but I'm not quite sure what I want to do, so I'm going to leave it. But what I want to do is push this back even more. And so work with me on that. I'm using lots of white and bleached white now to just go over, but it's never pure white. There's always something in it. I don't know. You guys are going to watch this video and just, you're going to opt out because I'm not making sense. But some of you asked, you said, hey, can you paint and talk at the same time? So here, I'm going to try. I want every section to be interesting. I find my stroke in the way that I do it with, picking up lots of different colors, it actually is interesting when you're standing in front of the painting, in that every stroke is of interest. Okay. But I still want to indicate like that there are a lot of trees here. And I find that this squiggly type stroke works great. And we'll give this snowy shoreline. And it's the greens that are in this are just a little bit too green, too warm. So they're bringing the painting forward. They're bringing that part forward. So I'm just gonna obliterate them. So my husband comes home on, I believe, Saturday. I have to look, see who's picking him up, if I'm picking him up. And in the meantime, I will paint and work. And I'm hoping to get out 2 videos this week for you. This one and the other. And then next week is the square foot show that I'm always talking about, that carries my work that we started so many years ago. And I always put the link to that in the description. If you're an artist, please apply. We have a whole variety of shows. We're doing 1 a month. Please apply. If you are a collector, please follow on Instagram and sign up for our newsletter, because that will, give you first access to the preview. And I will be going live next Wednesday at 1 o'clock. So put that in your calendars. Next Wednesday at 1, I'll be going live with a variety of artists from the show, just to talk about their work, because it's all about lifting artists. It's all about bringing them to the foreground and forefront and for you to be able to meet them. Okay. I'm liking what's going on. I think, let's see, if I bring some snow right down, right? Do you see that? That I just built a slope and a ridge and identified that my camera keeps wobbling. I have no idea why, because I'm not touching it. So if it's a little wobbly, I'm sorry. And let's bring down in here. Yeah. Okay. So now my full sky is color blocked. I've pushed back, half of this background. I'm going to lose that little dark spot there. There's hardly any red popping through, but there is some. Give us a snow pile here. Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that texture. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop the camera here and figure out where I want to go. Okay, so here is what I accomplished so far. And I'm standing behind the camera and I'm looking. So yes, I definitely have to get up in here and really lighten that up. Definitely have to do that. And I'm seeing in here, see this kind of hot pinky darky spot, all those technical terms. I'm going to push that back as well. All right, let's see if I can do it from this angle so you can actually watch it develop. All right, what do I want to do here? Where is my reference? There it is. Okay. So this is a very limited palette for me. I don't, when I'm doing trees and fall trees, there's so many colors that I can throw in. And here I am really limiting, using lots of white, titanium white, and unbleached white, touching it to the blues. All right. My goal is that these are not, so high contrasty. So I'm losing some of that contrast. If you can kind of see where that's going. I'm losing the contrast so that it pushes it back. Here I'm being bold. I'm going to lose that whole dark spot. Oh, I like that. I like the teal. I touched a cobalt teal to my brush and pushed that back. Ooh, I like that a lot. I think I want to lighten this contrasty ridge. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of snow here. Pop this forward. I think that did that. Okay, so now what to do in this section. I'm getting a student next week, guys. I'm getting a student from my daughter's high school in Hamilton. She teaches, excuse me, I'm so sorry. She teaches in Hamilton. She teaches photography and art. And I'm getting a grade 12 student. And she is going to come and with the entire intent that she will help me with YouTube videoing. So it is the beginning of February. If you're watching this any other time, it's the beginning of February 2025. And my student comes next week, February 12th. And I don't know how long it'll take us to get a rhythm going where she's filming and editing and putting it together, but I think it's going to be fun. Her name's Zoe. So stay tuned for Zoe. You know, we're trying to teach students the business of art in reality, and so she's going to be working with me on YouTubing for you and getting together some more content. I think that sounds great, doesn't it? Okay. So that's happening next week. I'm a little nervous about it because, you know, that's a whole other thing to add to life is getting enough for a student to do. You know how that is. If delegating is hard. Sometimes, you know, teaching somebody how to do something, it takes time to do that. So, but I've committed to this, and I think it's gonna be really great. We have a student going to Crown and Press too, my gallery in Hamilton. The student is going there, and she's going to be working with my son-in-law Justin over there and learning all about gallery stuff. I think it's a neat thing that the schools do to give kids opportunity to learn about the real life of an artist. Okay. I'm going to step back, look at the camera. I think it's still too dark up in here. What do you think? Oh, and this, my, there's a spot on the wood in the back that's throwing me a little bit there. I think I want to push that back even more. Let's do it. Let's do it. Get rid of that and lighten it up. I'm going to pull this over here. Get rid of that mark that's on the wall. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Yeah, I think so. It's not wanting it to be so contrasty. And that's a hard thing for me. Oh my goodness. I am a contrasty painter. If you've seen any of my work or anything that I do, I do a lot of contrast. You know what? I'm getting rid of those. It's like an abstract artist who paints over things that they love. What I'm just doing here. It was a little mark, but it was no longer working. Okay. I think this is still too warm. I'm going to give some directional strokes that snow is coming down. And then I think that is too dark. Right there. Okay. Did that successfully push that back? I think somewhat. I think there's still work. I think maybe this spot right here now is too dark. So let's get rid of that. Okay, what do you think? I'm thinking, no, this is too dark. So as I'm building and making the ridges and things like that, it causes the rest of the painting to adjust, doesn't it? So then I have to go back and adjust. So my goal here is that those mountains are so far away, right? And contrast would bring them closer. So here, I want to get rid of this dark line. I haven't had any lunch yet. My stomach is starting to growl. All right, so now I'm going to move back over here. And I think I'm going to paint out this pink. But I'm painting directionally, giving mountain ridges in the background. I hope I'm not standing in front of you that you can't see. Okay. Now, to really push that back, this cannot be so contrasty. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I think I'm saying okay, okay, okay a lot in this video. So here you're getting me in real time thinking. So I think I'm going to end the video here and leave it for another day because it's going to dry. It's going to get a little darker. And come back and finish it on another day. Okay, so thank you for that. Thank you for staying. If you've stayed till the end, thank you for staying with me on that self-reflection, I guess, or trying to articulate what I'm doing as I'm painting through. I'm looking past the camera at the canvas here right now, but I will see you in the next video. The next video, I'll be finishing a couple of 12 by 12s for my square foot show. I hope you got some information. If anything, you got to know me a little bit. You got to know how I'm thinking while I'm painting or not thinking. It could be that I'm not thinking. Here's a painting that I'm working on. And I've got to, again, you see how I have color blocked the painting. And I've got to finish color blocking the sky. And then I've got to come back and do my push and pull because there's a lot of tones and a lot of, it's not muddy, but it's not crisp. It's not clean. This is a painting that I'm working on for a gallery production. I will talk to you in the next video. I keep saying that. This is like saying goodbye in your front hall. Bye, bye, goodbye.